Today we'll recap a 2017 Spanish supernatural horror film named Veronica, directed by Paco Plaza. It is loosely based on true events from the 1991 Veronica case, where Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro died mysteriously after she used an Ouija board. Kindly remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the video. The movie begins with showing the ending of the film. That is the 15th of June 1991 in Madrid, where a girl calls the emergency services. She sounds panicked and screams about her brother Antonito, and something coming to get him, and then the call cuts off. Now we see Detective Romero, who enters the house along with some officers and sees that the house was completely scattered. Then he hears some sound from a room and sees something in that room, which he is quite shocked to see. The film then goes back in time 3 days, when a girl named Veronica is waking up from her sleep. She is a 15-year-old girl who has 3 siblings. We see Veronica taking care of all of them at such a young age, because her mother used to sleep all day as she worked in a bar at night to support her family. Now we see Veronica in her class where her teacher is teaching the class about solar eclipse. She explains how some ancient cultures used eclipses to stage human sacrifices and summon dark spirit. Then, the teacher starts taking everyone to the roof to show the solar eclipse. But we see that here Veronica and Rosa are planning something different. And then another girl, Diana, also joins them. Then they go to the basement of the school where it was very dark, and a lot of old stuff was kept. Here we come to know that they are here to conduct a seance using an Ouija board, as Veronica wanted to reach her late father, and Diana wants to reach out to her late boyfriend who died in a motorcycle accident. Then the board responds right away and the glass moves, due to which all 3 of them are surprised. Now the solar eclipse starts and the glass moves again, after which it becomes very hot, due to which Rosa and Diana pull their hands back. Veronica's hand remains on it, and at the moment of the eclipse, the cup shatters, cutting her finger and dripping blood onto the board. Then a candle capture catches fire on the board, and Rosa starts to extinguish it, after which it becomes dark there. Now they somehow find the torch and light it and see that the board was broken into 2 parts, and Veronica was also missing from there. Just then, Rosa sees that Veronica is lying unconscious nearby. Seeing that, she asks Diana to bring help. Veronica was whispering something repeatedly that Rosa leans in to hear, and suddenly Veronica gets up and starts screaming very loudly in a demonic voice. After passing out, Veronica wakes in the school nurse's office, who tells her she probably passed out from iron deficiency. Veronica then starts going home with her sisters, where Irene tells her that Sister Death is looking at her. But the strange thing here was that Sister Death was blind and could not see. Now she comes home with all the children and hides her bag over a cupboard, in which the broken Ouija board was kept. Then she hears the sound of something falling from her room and sees that her bag was lying on the floor. She puts it up again and starts leaving from there, but her bag falls again. Now she is quite surprised to see this, after which she puts the bag under the bed. Next, they are all at the dinner table and talking about solar eclipse, where Veronica is unable to eat her dinner as if an invisible force is preventing her. Seeing this, her sibling is quite surprised, and then a milk packet falls from Irene's hand, from which milk comes out and touches Veronica's leg. She suddenly comes to her senses and didn't remember anything that just happened to her. Next, we see Veronica in the washroom where she notices a claw mark on her body. Now later she is bathing Antonito when she hears something falling outside. Looking at her room, she tells her sisters to play easily, but her sisters are playing on the other side. Now she is quite surprised to see this and goes towards the room, where the lights start flickering and the door closes on its own. Then she hears Antonito screaming, and when she goes to the bathroom, she sees that there are burn marks on Antonito's body, and the water in the bathtub is very hot. Later, when Veronica is washing dishes, she puts her finger on the glass, when suddenly the TV turns on, which scares her. She turns off the TV and leaves from there. And here we see an entity on the screen. Now she is sleeping in her room at night when suddenly her bed shakes, and she sees that the door of her cupboard opened automatically. She sees that her siblings are sitting in fear in the cupboard when someone calls her name. She sees that it is her dad's ghost who starts walking toward her while calling her name. Suddenly one hand pulls her onto the bed, after which many hands grab her, and that devil converts into his real form. But then she wakes up from sleep and it was just a nightmare. Next, Veronica is in her class where she sees her friends ignoring her. She asks the teacher to go to the bathroom. However, she goes back to the school basement where she finds Sister Death. She scolds her for doing something so dangerous, and explains that the seance attached a dark spirit to her and she needs to protect her siblings. Then she starts seeing something there that Veronica was not able to see. The nun tries to compel the spirit to leave her, but nothing happens. Later at home, Veronica looks at some of the books, from which she draws protective Viking symbols for the kids, and then hangs them in their room. Now in the night, Veronica hears her sister Lucia's voice on the walkie-talkie, on which Lucia asks her for help and says that you have called him. Then all of a sudden she sees the entity in the children's room, seeing which she gets scared and runs to their room. But there they are all sleeping comfortably. Now as soon as she starts leaving from there, Antonito's toy automatically turns on, and in the red light, she sees a shadow which is moving towards that Viking symbol, and suddenly it catches fire. Here Veronica is caught by an invisible force, due to which she cannot move, and sees that the shadow is moving towards Lucia, after which one hand grabs her throat. Now Veronica somehow wakes Lucia from her sleep and tells her that someone here is trying to hurt her, after which she goes to get Antonito. Then they are all sleeping together in the living room when suddenly Veronica wakes up. She hears someone calling her from outside the door. Veronica goes outside to check, where she sees a demon standing. Now she starts following him and he stands right outside their door. All the children also come to Veronica in fear and Veronica put that cross in front of him. But their mother enters the room and gets confused seeing all this. Next, we see Irene and Lucia come to her room and start jumping on her bed and start waking her up. After this, both of them hold her hand and start eating her, and while doing so they both were laughing. Then Antonito comes there and starts throttling her, but then she wakes up from sleep and it was just a dream. Then Veronica notices blood spots on her bed which was her first period blood. Now while scrubbing the stains, she finds burn marks on the underside of the mattress. She then goes to Antonito, who tells her that Dad had come to him, which shocks Veronica. He tells her that he will take him to the place where he lives. Now here Veronica explains to him that if he comes back then he does not listen to him, and has to close his ears and yell her name loudly. Then she finds out that her siblings' mattresses had large burn marks in the shape of a human body. Seeing this, Veronica gets very scared and takes the kids and drops them in her mother's restaurant, and tells her that she is going to Rosa's house. But from there she goes straight to Sister Death. The nun tells of how she used to see dark spirits when she was younger, and intentionally blinded herself in an unsuccessful attempt to stop the visions. Here Veronica asks her how can she make them go away, to which nun says the same way they came in, they have to go through the door she opened. She has to do the right what she did wrong. Then another nun comes there and starts taking Sister Death. But while leaving she says that she will find the answers in the book. After this, Veronica starts reading the book, but the page of the book is burned in its main part. So she buys a new board from the shop and starts reading a new book. Here she finds out that one should never end a seance without saying goodbye. Now she runs to Rosa's house where the party is going on. She tries to convince her that they will have to do it again, but here Rosa tells her that that day she whispered something in her ear, in which she said that she would die in 5 days, which makes Veronica quite surprised to hear. Now Veronica is left with no choice after Rosa and Diana refuse. So she decides to hold the seance with her young siblings. She has Antonito draw the protective symbols on the walls, but he flips to the wrong page and instead draws symbols of invocation. Now finally she starts the seance with Lucia and Irene and asks Antonito to sit away. After some time the door there opens itself, due to which all of them get a little scared. Now the glass on the board automatically moves and confirms the presence of the demon, on which Veronica says that they are here to say goodbye to him. But the devil refuses to go. Now Veronica reads in the book that to properly conclude the seance and bid farewell, they should sing a mantra or a soft song. Now all of them start singing a song, during which strange movements start happening in the house, and strange sounds start coming. This frightens the children, to which Veronica asks them to keep singing. Just then the door of their room opens and all the candles are extinguished, and the Ouija board also breaks into 2 pieces. After this, the glass rolls out of the room and starts hitting a door again and again. Now following it, Veronica comes to her room where she sees the mattresses turned upside down. As soon as she goes near it, one hand comes out of it and grabs her hand, and the demon starts coming out of it. Veronica escapes there by releasing her hand with great difficulty, and comes to the children. After this, she calls the police and asks for help, and then Entity takes Antolino away. Now Veronica goes to the bathroom to save her brother and gets injured by falling from the window. She sees that Antonito is sitting in a corner. She quickly picks him up and walks out. Here their mother sees that many police vehicles are going towards her house. She realizes that her children are in danger, so she too rushes towards her house. Here in the house, Veronica manages to escape along with Lucia and Irene. However, when she gets to the exit, she sees in a mirror that she is not holding Antonito, but just imagined it. She is shocked to see this and runs back inside to save Antonito. Now we come to the same scene where the movie started, where their mother asks Lucia and Irene what happened, but they were very scared. Inside, Veronica sees that the entity had put Antonito in the bathtub. She goes to save him, but he attacks her, causing her head to hit the mirror directly. Just then she sees Antonito running away, and picks up a piece of the mirror. Now she starts looking for Antonito, and we see the demon coming after her. Then the demon's shadow moves towards the cupboard and opens its door, where Antonito is sitting with his ears closed and repeatedly calling Vero's name. She finds him and notices he won't go with her. Veronica looks at herself in the mirror and sees the demon, realizing she has been possessed by the demon the entire time, and had been harming her siblings under its control. She attempts to end the possession by slitting her own throat, but is prevented by the demon, and it was the same scene from the beginning of the movie that stunned the detective. After this, they find Antonio there, and they call the medical team to help Veronica. Now the detective is doing an investigation into the house where he sees a photo of Veronica, but as soon as he picks it up, his hand burns, and then the photo catches fire. Just then he gets a call, from which he learns that Veronica just died. 5 years later, in 1996, he reports unexplained paranormal activity has occurred in Madrid. It is explained that the movie is based on the true events of the first police report in Spain, where a police officer certifies having witnessed paranormal activity, and the movie ends here. Thanks for watching.